in the Bay Area. You may even be in one yourself, but that doesn't mean navigating them is without its challenges and rewards. Author and actress Diane Farr joins me tonight. She has written a new book called Kissing Outside the Lines, a true story of love, race, and happily ever after. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So Diane, you wrote about your own personal experience. You're married to an Asian man, and this was something that came about after you had the 3 children.
Yes, we had 3 children really fast. We got pregnant on our wedding night with our first, and then poof, he was 9 months old and we were pregnant again, and it was twins. And we had climbed an arduous path to our marriage. There was a lot of hiccups with his family and with mine, and I had a lot of feelings that hadn't really run their course yet. So when the babies were really little, I thought, I think I'm going to have to work this out before it sheds all over my beautiful new family. So I started writing in between feedings. And by the time they were 2, I had done enough interviews that I felt like I had covered the landscape of interracial dating in America.
And you had a lot of praise so far for how bold and how candid your book is and how funny it is, too. Talk to me about some of the things that surprised you in your research, and were there differences whether it was a white woman with an Asian man or a black man with a white woman or an Asian woman with a white man?
Yeah, there were a lot of differences, and the thing about my book was I don't think you or I walking down the street holding somebody's hand whose hand is a different color than ours would really be all that shocking. The problem seemed to be at home, that love was the last prejudice that parents could openly teach their kids, that we were all taught the golden rule that everybody's created equal and everyone deserves the same opportunity with education. But somewhere around 13 years old, somewhere around puberty, junior high school, when your kids start dating, parents feel comfortable at home to say, but you can't love one of them. And the mixes in America are as exactly as you might imagine. I was a white woman dating an Asian man, and when his family said, no, we do not want you to marry someone of that race, it was shocking to me. I couldn't imagine that there was this much dysfunction, because everything we talk about in America is black and white. And here we were, I was watching each stage, and as I went and I interviewed everyone, depending on where your family was from and depending on what your background was and their experience, it was present. But what was the most shocking was how present it was everywhere.
And how do people, did you find a common thread in how people deal with getting over that challenge? How did you do it with your husband's family?
I didn't find a common thread. I interviewed so many couples because everybody handled it a little bit differently. But the thing that definitely rang true was that you have to sort of live the life you want to live, that no perfectly coined speech is ever going to cause a change of heart, particularly in your own family, because we don't really edit ourselves enough with our parents, and there's no spectacular sentence I was going to come up with for my husband's parents, never mind my own, to sort of give them a change of heart. So each couple sort of showed me a path of how to get to where you wanted to go without having to pontificate in your own living room about it.
And sometimes it just takes time.
It's mostly time, because it's a generational divide. I think what our parents taught us, most of us probably wouldn't teach our kids about who was worthy of our love or not. But it's just how you get past that initial dialogue so that you don't lose the relationship with your parents if you're doing something outside of their comfort zone.
Lastly, talk to me about what you think the future of interracial relationships is going to be and the perception of that. I feel like it will not be as big of an issue. We joke about it, but my husband and I, we have a baby that's half Vietnamese, half white. You go to the playground and almost all the kids are mixed now. There are very few kids that are of one race. So in the future, what did your research show you, in terms of attitudes and how they're going to evolve?
I think that's exactly where America's going. And we live in big cities, and we live on the coast, and that's not always the same as how things will happen in Iowa and Nebraska or even Texas, for that matter. But it feels like we're becoming one America. And part of the book, what I was trying to say is we're dividing ourselves up and excluding the fact that we are all American. So no one wants their culture to die, but maybe we just need to embrace the common one, because it seems that's where all our kids are going anyway.
Fantastic. Diane, thank you so much for your time. Very interesting book, Kissing Outside the Lines, a true story of love, race, and happily ever after. Thanks again for joining us, Diane.
Thank you.